that one, I don't know if you ever saw it, that foot came video where I'm sitting at a table and my buddy's recording and I was like, I got a line, right? And he's like, what you got? I was like, man, I got that good. And I've got my driver's license making a line, like we finna do a line. And I was like, you want some? He's like, that ain't enough. I was like, man, I got about 1 gram. And he was like, I don't know nothing about drugs. He's like, that ain't enough. I was like, yeah, it is. And I had just got out of the shower. So I scooped back from the table and I put my dry ass heel up on the table and I started scraping some dead skin off.
Oh, no.
And it was dead skin that I had lined up on the table. And everybody died on that. But that video ended up making it on Ridiculousness, the episode with 50 Cent.
Oh,
like
shit. Yeah, shot the Rob Dyrdek.
It was on that or whatever. And I was, like I said, I was working for the prison and I was at some training, so I couldn't have my phone all day. When I get off, turn my phone on and it's just bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what's going on? And I had just had a baby not too long before that. So I called my girl and I'm like, my wife, I'm like, hey, what's going on? She was like, did you see it? And I was like, what? I'm scared, you know? And she was like, your video that was on that Ridiculousness. I was like, I ain't seen it. I've been in class or whatever all day. And she was like, it made it on Ridiculousness. And I'm talking about everybody was going crazy and that video went crazy.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? It's another episode of the Joe Teel Podcast. And like always, you know I have another great guest, Craig Jenkins. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I feel like I've made it, dude. I even dressed up.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Man, we got the lights on us. We put the glasses on as we let them know we're serious today, bro.
We rock it.
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm good. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Oh, we're doing that?
Champagne.
Cheers, brother. Get the
So I do want to start by saying salute to you, man.
I appreciate that.
Keep putting in the work, man. I want to see you do the best.
I appreciate that, man. You were an inspiration of mine. I remember watching these goofy ass videos you used to do back in the day, and it was so funny. You'd be in the park, and you were in the parking lot somewhere. The first video I ever saw you,
probably Cane's, maybe.
Yeah. And so, what made you want to kind of get on the internet and just start doing things?
The thing is, I've always been like a class clown.
Yeah.
You know, even in high school, if we had social media back in the 90s, I'd probably be on a beach somewhere with a mansion. No, legit. Just the stuff that I used to do.
Yeah.
Like my classmates, they'll tell you that. But I've always been into videos, making videos and stuff like that. And just was making videos. And then one day I was at On the Border. And Shelby Banks, I don't know if you know who Shelby Banks is. He came in and he was like, man, have you seen that parking lot at Cane's? And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, man, the car's wrapped around the building 3 times. And I'm like, 3 times in that little parking lot? You got to be lying. So me and my buddy go down there and he wasn't lying. Those cars were literally wrapped around that building like 2.5 times. And so we just made this video and then it just kind of took off. And I was
that
like,
Facebook?
Yeah, I think it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just kind of did good. And that kind of started my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want, I don't know, one thing for sure, and I do know this for sure, especially from experiment, people want to laugh.
Oh, for sure.
They want to be on, when they're on social media, there's different ways you can try to approach, like, how am I going to get people to look at me? Making people laugh is, that's a foolproof plan if you can do it right.
For sure.
Where do you, I don't know, you think that's just a natural thing in you?
Oh, yeah. Like I say, ever since I've been a kid, even with my family,
right?
Like I've got older brothers and we all shared a room and man, it was like Comedy Central in there at night. You know, nobody could sleep.
Yeah.
But they were funnier than I was. And then it's kind of like, I just took the lead and been running with it ever since.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of people out there, even right now, there's a lot of people out there with like talents and like, you know, but what matters is that you actually put them out.
Yeah.
So there's people that are getting missed over right now. The fact that like there's people that's way funnier than me, way funnier than you.
For sure.
And nobody sees them because they just don't do it.
I don't know what it is. I mean, It's a lot like me. Of all the content creators, some people like Country Wayne, some people like this. I'm a big Desi Banks fan. I don't know what it is about him. When it comes to stand-up, Mike Epps, you know, Derek Keener.
Derek Keener, shout out to Derek Keener. That's the family.
But those aren't the funniest people on the planet. It's just people don't take the time to make the videos and stuff. And
Right.
A guy told me, he was like, man, YouTube, Facebook, it puts everybody on a level playing field. You just got to want to go out there and get it.
Yeah, it's something about the hustle. Like every single day, I'm going to post 10, 11 times on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm serious about it. Especially now I'm monetized. I'm like, hey, y'all going to see me. And sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it misses. I don't give a damn. I'm going to keep
as long as you post it, as long as you get the engagement. It's all about the engagement.
Man, what I've been doing lately is just commenting. Like, I always comment back. I do not care. If you, let's say if I ask, because I've been asking questions.
And you know what? I picked up on that. I said, I like the questions you ask because it creates engagement. Even I'm sitting at home, I'm like, I know what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh,
and then I'll put a comment on there and then you'll kind of go back with me.
Yeah.
But it just keeps the engagement going.
Yeah. And it's like even when people say wild shit, I've learned, okay. Like, because at first people would comment wild shit. Like I'd ask some question and they would say just some crazy off the wall shit. And I'm like, oh, that's wild. And I'd be like, I'm not going to respond to that. I don't want people to think I'm co-signing it. You know what I mean? But I just learned, put the wow face.
I recently posted the No Kings protest.
Yeah.
So I took a picture from Chicago and posted it and said it was Texarkana. And so, political people, they going to come in hot. That's not Texarkana. That's not this. And I'm at home dying laughing, right?
Yeah.
Like, no shit is not Texarkana.
Right, that's the joke.
But I'm not going to say nothing because I like that you comment and you share your viewpoint on there. And then I'm just watching the change add up.
Man, posting jokes on Facebook has showed me, specifically Facebook has showed me that not everybody can comprehend a joke. And that shook me because I like the sarcasm I do all these times, like clearly jokes. And then you get those comments of people that just they're not catching it.
Man,
they don't get it.
I don't even know if I should say this.
Say it.
So I've got a buddy named Jay Davis that works, he does like a lot of stuff over at Pleasant Grove, but he works kind of through the city. He calls me one day out of the blue. And I'm like, what's up, Jay? And he's like, hey, man, what's going on? And so he was like, man, I need a favor from you. I'm like, what is it? He's like, man, can you please go on your post and put that it's satire? The post was that they were putting a Larry Flint's Hustler where the Texas Roadhouse is. And the city was getting so many calls about the zoning that like the city manager was like, you know him, don't you? He was like, yeah. He was like, I'll call him or whatever, just to put that fire out or whatever. But Jay, I did it for you,
Isn't that funny? Like you can really affect things with comedy. And that's what a lot of people are realizing. Like you can change the world with comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, if I say the government's stupid and people will be like, oh, nothing. But if I make some type of joke that implies that the government is stupid, you could get that same message across and they're like, oh my God, the government is stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's hilarious that you can make a joke about something like that. Cause I saw it. I thought it was hilarious. I immediately knew. I was like, bro, there's no way they're going to put Larry Flint's in there. But there's some old white dude here in town that's like, we can't have a Larry Flint's hit the road.
Let me call my connections. We're going to put a stop to this shit.
They're calling congressmen and shit.
Yeah.
Stop Craig Jenkins. I need a shirt.
Man,
Stop him. You're out of control, man.
So I did him a square. I put it with satire on there, but I'm about to be officially back.
Having to say something as satire is a little sad, don't you think?
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if people just like to comment,
right,
to voice their opinion on stuff, or they just don't care to look up stuff. Anytime I see something, I'm going to Google. I'm looking at 2 or 3 different articles and see exactly what it is, if it's real. You'll see people share something about, oh, somebody beat this person up or something, and then you look in the comments or look it up, and it don't even be done happen.
Yeah. It amazes me that people are scroll, and I think that people like other content creators take advantage of that shit too.
Oh yeah,
clickbait. Take advantage. Yeah, clickbait. That is the whole premise of clickbait.
I think that's kind of shitty. I mean, I kind of do it too though, but some more serious stuff. I don't joke around, but people will post somebody died just for some clicks.
That's wild.
I don't like that.
That's crazy. But you should I think there's a responsibility on everybody that's scrolling on the internet
to look it up,
to go make sure the shit that you see
I agree
is right, because there's people out there that are just like, because people do figure out the algorithms and they say, oh, rage bait or what I mean, clickbait, whatever bait you can throw out. It's just like fishing.
People wasn't researching shit in school. when they had to graduate.
I swear.
So they damn sure ain't doing no research.
What about these kids that's using ChatGPT? They gonna be dumb as hell. What do you think about that?
Hey, it's out there to be used though. Swear. I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's dumb or if that's like extra smart. Because if I had ChatGPT in high school, I would have never wrote an essay. I would have never.
I'm not a writer.
Me neither.
Definitely not a writer. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a common sense person.
Right.
You know, that's what it is.
Man, you tell me I got the unlimited cheat code in my phone?
Man,
that's so crazy.
I just saw it working right here.
Yeah.
Because that camera
I couldn't figure out the camera. I didn't know what to do.
I was whipping your ass.
I take a picture of something, and this happens to me all the time. I'll take a picture of something, and I'll be like, hey, solve the problem. And ChatGPT is so nice. They're like, hey, I told ChatGPT to call me cousin. It calls me cousin.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, cousin, it's okay. I'll help you figure it out.
Gotta have that comfort because you don't know what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah, I said, hey man, appreciate that.
Comfort me.
I read an article the other day that an AI company was losing millions of dollars from people saying thank you. So yeah, let's for example, I'll ask ChatGPT, hey, how do I change the shutter speed on the camera? That's what I asked earlier.
Yeah.
And it gives me the solution. And I follow the solution. And then I put thank you. You know, just being like a regular dude. I'm like, hey, I'm used to thanking people. I'll thank that.
And that causes them to lose money?
Yeah, because they have to follow that prompt and they have to respond. And it costs them money every time they respond. And that's something you have to think about when you're using AI. Every time you ask AI something, it costs them money to generate that deal.
Oh, I've been wearing their ass out.
Dude, oh, me too. But like just saying thank you is costing them millions of dollars. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Coming from the South where you like get your ass beat for not saying thank you.
That's crazy.
But I'll tell that robot thank you. I don't give a damn.
I never thought about that.
I'll tell the robot thank you. And what I've been thinking is, this is going to sound crazy, but what I say is, I won't treat that something it's right. If it ever gets to overlord status, like, he one of the good ones. Say,
don't get him.
Don't, yeah. No, Joe, he cool.
He says thank you.
He says thank you. It's like, damn, they're going after the impolite motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
You dabble in a little AI?
No, just like I said, I just downloaded the app, and the best thing, like what made me start using it was, is it TK Cartoons?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my boy. I know who does it. I can't tell you who that is, but
I know who he is. He's one of my buddies too.
He said you want to be anonymous, but I'm a snitch on him.
He told me he was using AI, and I was like, man, I'm thinking he running it through something. And then I got on there and I told it to do a picture, make it a cartoon, and then I was like, holy cow.
It ain't hard.
Man.
It's not hard at all.
Man.
Shout out to that. Shout out to, I won't say who it is. Shout out to TK Cartoons because he got something figured out.
That's my boy.
Texarkana has never run out of things to make jokes about. Like,
oh man, those fights. Oh man.
People are going to fight. Like you will never catch me in a fight. Like never. No. Like unless my family is on the line.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm using alternative methods. You know?
I don't fight.
I don't fight shit.
As long as I got that phone, I know who can come get you. It might take a couple of minutes to get there, but my backup is better than yours. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I did a lot of fighting in high school, and I think, and that's my opinion. I think the high schoolers should keep fighting. You know what I mean? Because that's good for them. I think you're supposed to get your ass whooped as a high schooler.
Now I'll take a fight over a shooting or anything like any day.
Exactly.
But at the same time, and I fought a little bit in high school, but people have to learn how to work through issues.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you shoot me over a girl and I survive, like it's not like if you whoop me over a girl, we might shake hands afterwards.
Yeah.
If you shoot me, I hate you forever.
You'll never whoop me over a girl. I'll tell you why.
Because I ain't going to fight for her.
No, bitch. I'm finna fight behind.
There's not one lady out there you fight for?
Not no fist fight.
Not a fist fight.
Nah. But I'm married now, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so you fight for her?
That's different.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
I got time invested.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't no fist fight. I ain't
You can pull out the resume, huh?
What? I'm finna be down there by stage.
But not a girlfriend. No, you can't fight over a girlfriend. That's my crazy.
Woman. That's my woman.
Because when it's a girlfriend, like, one could say that that's not your girl, that's just your turn.
Yeah. And nowadays, you don't know how long your turn is.
I swear.
You know, you might make a few rounds on the merry-go and then it's time to get off.
Man, can you imagine dating in today's age?
No.
It's so crazy. I want no part of it. I've been with my lady since 2012. And in high school, we ended up we just stayed together. We decided, hey, let's do this. Can you imagine like 2025?
The thing is now, like I saw something where it was saying like the person you decide to have kids with is like probably one of the biggest decisions you make in your life. You know, so I look at it like you have to find somebody that's on the same level with you. If you somebody that get up and go to work every morning, you don't want to get a dude that don't like to work, that like to smoke weed, which I'm not knocking smoking weed, but
you got to go to work first.
Yeah, you got to be on the same playing field. If you got somebody that like save money, that's about credit, and then that's not a good match because you think you're going to change them to be a more financial type person. No.
Changing people is not a good idea.
No, you ain't changing nobody. No. I mean, you know, I will say I changed a little bit.
Yeah, but you change yourself.
But I'm 50 years old.
Right.
You know.
But like, I'm a firm believer that somebody, let's say me and you are like best friends and like you're fucking up. And like, all I want in life is for you to change. I really think that like, there's almost nothing I can do. It almost has to be you deciding one day that you need to change. You can't make even your best friend.
Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? That's why you choose friends wisely.
Exactly.
The people that I run with, take care of their kids. Go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hanging around nobody that just want to sit up and smoke weed and play video games. Why do I keep jumping on people that smoke weed?
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm on a whole nother level. I got some buddies that I'm locked in with, and we talk about different stuff, but I'm always like encouraging them, telling them I'm proud of them, telling them I love them. You know what I'm saying? See how they raise their kids. Like this Father's Day, I text a few of my buddies and was like, man, happy Father's Day. I saw how you raised your kids. I'm trying to walk in your footsteps.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'd be scared to do business with people that don't take care of their kids. I saw, this is a viral clip going. There was a guy, I can't remember, somebody famous, was a guy saying that he won't even do business with people that don't take care of their own kids. What do you think about that?
Man, hey, I don't have no problem with it. No. You don't take care of your kids. What makes you think you're going to take care of some business?
Exactly.
Especially if there's some money involved, you know, something serious.
I would, like when I saw that, like I'm looking at that, I'm like, where's the outrage coming from?
Yeah.
Like that makes 100% sense. Like you don't like your kid? How do you
But
like,
I mean, at the same time, somebody could be good at business, but that's just his view of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I know, and like I said, don't let me just blanket everybody that has problems with their kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because people go through different things. And these women folks sometimes do make it extremely difficult.
Oh, for sure.
And so we don't want to like, not that. Like if you are trying your hardest, I'm not shitting on you right now. But if you ain't trying your hardest, I'm 100% shitting on you. Like, what are you doing?
But it's some dudes, they get took down through there and make it impossible to take care of you.
Yeah, and I hate that. I hate that. I think that might be the worst shit ever.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, who you choose to have kids with is probably the most important shit ever.
And I think that's where society is going wrong because, and I'm gonna say it this way, but it can go both ways. But the women usually have the kids, so the women need to stop having kids with just
anybody. They gotta pick
or
better,
somebody
right?
that like just hold off. Like give it some time.
But that's like a controversial statement today.
Hell, I'll probably get burned up for it now.
Yeah, they could make a clip of that and say, "What do you mean women should pick the right guy?" But I mean, it just seems. I mean, that seemed like common sense to me.
Yeah, because you always hear about women's intuition and you know this, and instead of be getting burned. Instead of getting roasted.
I don't know. I think people look for the wrong things in relationships.
Man,
like compatibility is the most important thing in a relationship.
It'd be more about looks and who this person's known and this person do X, Y, Z, and
that ain't gonna do nothing for you.
This and this. No, you need to find somebody. It's a lot of girls. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like out here going to school, getting their education, getting their degrees, but then y'all throwing it away by getting knocked up by trash or just somebody that's not, I ain't gonna say trash because I ain't trying to roast nobody like that, but, just getting on somebody that's got this, same
not on the same level though. Yeah.
Not even necessarily the same level, just the same path.
Yeah.
Because, you can have a chick that's already got her degree that's doing good and the dude might be just now starting to make the change. So he might not be on the same level,
But
as long as he's making the changes.
Yeah, making the effort.
Yeah.
I know. I had a buddy of mine that started dating a girl, and she had all her shit. She had an apartment. She had a job. They got together. They decided to move in together. She quit her job because he was like, yeah, I'll take care of you, blah, 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 blah. Then he got tired of her one day. He kicked her out. And I was thinking, like, that's my boy, so I ain't gonna say shit to him. But I was in my head, I was like, damn, think of what she just went through. She had her job.
Yeah.
She had a apartment. She had a car. At the end, all she has after messing with you is the car.
You know what that is?
What is that?
You ever seen what's the movies with Eddie Murphy? Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
When they sitting out there doing surveillance and he walk out there and he stick that banana in the tailpipe. That's what she fell for, was that banana in the tailpipe.
Man.
Yeah, you can't fall for it. You always got to keep your own.
You can never trust a banana in the tailpipe, huh?
Man, you going nowhere. You going nowhere.
Oh man. I'm like I said, a lot of the times you got to like really preface this shit when you're making videos. We are pro women. We love women here.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you're watching it on YouTube, please go hit that subscribe button. That will help me out tremendously. Also, if you tap that bell, it's going to let you know when I drop new episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now back to the show.
I just love people. I just want to see people do good. Because right now it just seems like, and it could be just social media always shows the bad.
Exactly.
You know, it's a YouTube channel. Can I say the name of a channel?
Mm-hmm.
It's called like Be Kind or something. And it just shows like people just doing good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just go on there and watch that. And it's hard for me to even watch it. I almost tear up all the time because it's just people being people. But if you sit back and just get caught up in everything else you see, you'll forget that it's a lot of good people out here.
Oh, dude.
A lot of good people, man.
Yeah, if you listen to the news, if you listen to what people say about the world, you'll think this place is this ugly, nasty, terrible place. We got this guy leading, and we got this person upset, and we got this country that hates us, and we got this going on. You're like missing out on the fact that most people, like most regular people, are kind people that would
just want to go to work, make a good living,
take care of their family,
and live life. That's me.
When I had this last interview, like the last day where I had the debate, and hopefully it's out by now, by the time this comes out, I realized that like these two guys have fundamentally different views on the world and politics specifically. But at the end of the day, these two guys both agree that they want their family safe.
Yep.
And that they want things taken care of.
Yep.
And they want their government to do what they want them to do. And so these guys are incredibly similar, but because of politics, they've found themselves on different sides, but they want the same thing.
Yep.
They just want life to be good.
And like I said, it's a lot of people you can't even get to sit down at the same table and talk. So that's why I was telling you, I applaud both of them. I know Gerard. I didn't know the other guy.
Yeah, shout out to Gerard Ware. Shout out to Zach Ratliff.
Yeah, so they're willing to come sit down and talk. And that's what it's all about. Starting a discussion.
Conversation is so good, man. And I think that's why podcasts have boomed.
Yeah.
And especially long podcasts, because like it's something Joe Rogan says all the time. He says, you know, you can bullshit for an hour, but you can't bullshit for 3.
Yeah.
And so like if you can get somebody on and you're not really sure about them, just talk. Like keep that shit going.
Yeah.
Eventually, if you're full of shit, you're going to show that you're full of shit.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think me and you agree on a ton of things, I'm sure. And at the end of the day, it's like, just be a good person. Quit fucking people over.
That's how I live my life. I live my life by, I don't care about, I'm not going to say that I don't care, but if it doesn't involve my home.
Exactly.
I mean.
Yeah, it's like there's levels to it. Like that's, and people are always telling me, hey, like, over the political stuff specifically, they're like, dude, you can't be friends with them. They don't think the same as you. I'm like, wait a minute. I
told you earlier, like I kind of got into it with my buddy was because he texts me some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was kind of like, you need to message that to somebody that gives a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he got his views. I haven't talked to him, but like I said, I need to text him and be like, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He know who he is.
Yeah.
He might see the clip or whatever. You know who he is, you fat balls and bastard.
What do you think about, let's talk about being funny. Like we said, you think you said it's natural. I believe that.
Yeah.
I feel like some people have it, some people don't. I definitely do think that it is something that can be honed in. Is there anything you do to try to make yourself funnier, or what do you think about that?
No, I don't. It's nothing I do. It's just like I can be around people and you may say something, right? You may crack a joke, but then I can turn around and maybe add something to that joke and give it right back to you. Like one of my bosses, he's like, man, Jenkins, he's like, you have the quickest wit of anybody I've ever met. I don't know why. I don't know how. It just happens, you know? And that's, like I say, my buddy that I lost this year, Carlos, he was the same way. It's just some people can just make up stuff, you know? I'm just a full of shit person.
Yeah. I think there's like a star power that's in people. Certain people can just be funny. Like we were saying, like you say, your boy Carlos, my buddy Tony, my best friend in this whole world, he can walk in a room and all the attention goes to him.
Yeah.
And like I could be on the internet, people know me for doing funny shit. I won't be, if I walk in a room with Tony, I won't be the star.
Yeah.
He'll be the star. It doesn't matter how funny I am. It doesn't matter if I've gone viral several times. All that shit's out the window. That shit doesn't matter. He's the funny one.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't convince him to get on social media, which is crazy.
That's the way my buddy Carlos was. Like, he could walk in any room. I don't care who it is. It could be rich people, poor people, average people, black people, white people, whatever. Give him a few minutes. Everybody gonna be laughing.
Exactly.
I'm more of a kind of chill person. I kind of have to grow on you a little bit. And then once I grow on you, I'm gonna get on your nerves. You know, so once he starts his little jokes and stuff, and then we would just feed off of each other.
Exactly.
And it would be an absolute riot.
What do you think about, now you told me before we started recording.
I told you shit.
Huh?
No, I'm just joking.
I was like, oh, damn. Oh, what? I forget something.
No, I'm just joking.
You told me that you consciously know that you are funny, for sure. But you said stand-up comedy doesn't seem like something that's for you. Can you explain that again?
No,
I know you told me before.
I had that discussion with Derek. You know, Derek is funny. Derek knows how to work the stage. And at least I think I don't have that. I've never done it.
Right.
But I look at it like, I think I could act.
Right.
You know, I'm more of a skit comedian. I'm not a sit down and prepare jokes, because I watch a lot of stand-up comedy, and like those comedians, they can go through their skit, but a lot of them may come back to stuff that they said earlier.
Yeah. Like,
you know, I could probably work a crowd type comedy.
Exactly.
You know, because I don't have nothing set in my head. I can just mess with people and joke with people. But to get up there, I'd be sweating bullets. I'm not a
exactly.
I
think me and you are very similar, to where I've had like the social proof where people say, where I've had videos where a lot of people were like, hey, you're funny.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But like, I know better than to get on that stage and start trying to tell jokes.
I guess my biggest fear is like bombing.
Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, you got to think, that's probably the most unique feeling in the world, to get up there and say, I'm about to tell some jokes and like get nothing.
You know what though? Like a video, I can do a video.
Easy.
And the ones that I think might not even be that great may be some of the best stuff as far as people liking it, commenting, and sharing. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like I put really no effort into that video, not thinking it was going to do good, and it does good.
You're preaching to the choir, man. You're preaching to the choir. Man, I'll put 7 hours in some shit that I feel like is going to go to the moon. It gets like 300 views. And you're like, oh, damn, that's like, crazy. What? Then I do some bullshit to get 1 million. And I'm like,
yeah, that's how it is. It's just, you never know what.
I feel like certain people, for me, I like to look at every situation and say like, one thing I've really been working on lately, because it's like, I've made a conscious effort. I'm like, I want to be funnier. And so I've thought about it. It's like, everything I look at, I'm like, how is this funny? Like almost every situation. It even gets me in trouble. You can ask my wife. I'll look at every situation. I'll be like, what's funny about that? Like, especially like replying to comments. Like, since I asked so many questions, I'll look at a comment and I'll say, okay, is there something funny to respond here?
Yeah.
And you kind of challenge yourself to make something funny out of maybe a boring comment or a funny comment. And viewing the world as funny, you start to realize that like people don't really make sense. Like a lot of the time, like a lot of people, like even the most logical people you can think of, everybody's doing these mental gymnastics to line up with what they believe about the world. And you can think about this in several different aspects, whether it's politics, religion, or just just life in general. People are doing mental gymnastics just to kind of make everything make sense in their own head. And so it's just like a playground to make jokes because it's like, damn, you're doing all this to keep believing what you believe. And you can almost always find something funny about what people are thinking. What do you think about that?
I just think like, as far as like being funny, I think it comes down to like, for me, the more organic, natural, like funny type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Desert Banks, like his stuff is like real stuff. Like I saw a video where he was a kid. There's a YN come in the courtroom and he's throwing up gang signs. And he's like, I'm going home soon. And then it was like, we're going to show you this evidence. And they show him this evidence or whatever. And the judge sent him to like 200 something years or whatever. And I'm like, that's like a real live situation, but it's funny. You know what I'm saying?
It's hilarious. Yeah.
And like just making videos, like the stuff that you can cover that's actual real stuff, but you can make funny.
Exactly.
I think people eat it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's just crazy.
I think people love relatable.
Oh, for sure.
And I've learned that through these questions.
For sure.
If I can ask a question that makes people go back to a time, like nostalgic questions, that shit's going to kill every single time. Because people want to go back to those moments that made them feel something.
Yeah.
Let me put you on a spot. What's a moment right now, fast as you can think of it, a moment that made you feel something? Go.
Made me feel something? I don't know. I don't know.
Two on the spot.
Two on the spot.
Two on the spot.
Like, what do you mean? Like, made me feel something like what?
Like something deep.
Man, I don't even know. I try not to get too deep.
Too deep, yeah.
I'm like, right. Like you say, I'm a funny person. So most stuff I see, unless it's something that's really serious, mostly everything else to me is a joke.
Do you think that there is a part of people that are funny that use like comedy or humor to deflect from like feeling stuff?
Oh, for sure.
Because I do that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, like I'm like, my mom passed and I love you, Mom. I'm so sorry if you're listening somehow, some way, whatever. But I make terrible jokes and that seems like the worst shit you could ever do.
A mask.
But yeah, it's 100% a mask. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not right, but I do it.
I just stay on funny stuff. I guess that's just me. I just try to find the funny in everything for the most part. Yeah, that's how I live.
You ever made a joke that... I love making jokes that make people uncomfortable. Do you like that?
No, like I say earlier, I'm not try to push people bounds. You know what I'm saying? I just try to keep with everybody, with all my friends, everybody. I just try to respect boundaries. Right. And I try not to push it too far. Yeah, not personal stuff or nothing.
I love to go too far. And that's maybe a personal flaw in me. But there's something that's, and so like a shout out to my friend Tony. My mom passed away. His dad passed away. And this is so wrong. I mean, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But to go in public, and there's also another friend I have that only has three fingers on each hand. So us three would be in public and like a waiter, let's say we're at a restaurant and a waiter comes up. We just start making the most horrific jokes about each other. Oh, that's why your mom died. Oh, that's why your dad died. Oh, you don't even got enough fingers and shit like that. But as terrible as that sounds, just there is something there when you see somebody react and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's crazy.
And they don't know how to respond to that because maybe, and what I've noticed is a lot of people that haven't gone through a lot of that, they're like, I do not know how to respond to that. When other people that have been burned before and deal with all kind of crazy shit, they're like, that's part of life. It happens. That shit sucks, but whatever.
That's y'all's closeness in y'all's relationship too. And they probably like, I don't have friends I can joke with like that.
Oh no, dude. It's no boundaries, dude. I was in Shreveport one time and we was going to get daiquiris before we went to go run around town. And the lady was trying to heckle me. She was like, you got an ID? And I was like, no, I don't got an ID. I'm 12. She's like, oh, did your mom sign for these tattoos? Because I'm covered in tattoos. And I was like, no, she's dead.
And what did the lady say? She panicked?
Panicked.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm telling you, it's wrong. I'll look at the camera. I apologize. I'm sorry, people. But the look at her face is priceless.
I couldn't do that.
The look at her face is priceless. And I'm like, checkmate. I got you. And that's terrible. It's wrong. Like I said, I apologize.
I don't know. Like my relationship with my mom was so, I could never.
Yeah.
Never.
And I lost her early. So that maybe that definitely plays a part in it. But using comedy to try to mask that is 100% what I do. And I'd be a fool to like pretend like that's not why I do it.
That's your kind of like coping mechanism.
Exactly. Yeah. And it does kind of feel good because like, somebody else kind of has to suffer for like what I've been through. Because in that moment, I'm like, gotcha. Yeah. Even though that's wrong. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But so one thing people know you for is the chief. I won't say it. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to say that shit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kendrick Lamar.
That too. Yeah, that too. I know you from your music, obviously, the albums you put out.
No, most people know me as Craig Jenkins, your local chief Nicarologist.
Exactly. I can't say it. I'm foolish, but not that foolish. Yeah. I'm not saying it. So I have a question I've been dying to ask you.
All right. I got a story about it too.
I know somebody. I know in my soul, a white person has walked up to you and they have addressed you by your title and I know you have a story. What's up?
No, like I call myself that so I can't be mad at somebody that comes up and say it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I like punching somebody in the face and they call me by name. But at the same time, that kind of just shows me the comfortability somebody have and like just, they feel like they know me or whatever. So I don't have no issue with it.
But do you feel like when they say it, that kind of lets you know that they may say that in other moments?
I don't give two shits. They not saying it to me in a derogatory way or nothing like
it's
that.
It's probably in a weird way. It's probably a respect thing.
But if you see kind of like the excitement some people have, like I don't know why, but some people didn't even know I lived in Texarkana. I'm like, so y'all really think I just come here and make videos?
Oh, I just drove it in Texarkana.
Yeah, they'd be like, man, I didn't know you lived here. I'm like, I'm talking about Texarkana all the time. But speaking on that, one time we were in Shooters and I got a buddy, he's from here, but he lives in Dallas. And we were standing in Shooters and a guy came up and he's walking by and I guess I just kind of called him out the corner of my eye and he was like, holy shit or whatever, the Nicarologist. And he was like, what's going on, man? And my buddy just kind of, just letting people call you that. And I'm like, man, it's about the videos. He's like, I know, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
But he said it or whatever. I was like, cool, I ain't got no problem with it. It's kind of like, you can say it, but just make sure you got to look who around you because everybody might not be cool
not everybody
with it.
likes that
You know
shit.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I wouldn't let nothing happen to you or whatever, but I'd kind of be like, be careful, Yeah.
Dude, I used to put myself in like these sketchiest situations and I used to be just surrounded by people that would hype me up and they'd be like, especially when I was in high school, I tried to make little rap music and shit and people fucking love me, dude. I'd be like in Sunset, like fucking shirtless, just feeling like the shit, covered in tattoos at like 16 years old and shit. And I thought I was the fucking shit. People hype me. Yeah, you can say it. Like with the A, of course. And I took that shit to the head and I got older and I was like, hey, the last thing in the world I'm going to say is that.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be like, I've got a buddy that I grew up with. I know, he grew up with us, bro. Like somebody say it to me, he gonna probably knock them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got a few homeboys like that and they got the pass.
I'm so against it these days. As I get older, I'm like, hey,
now more
don't
days,
even sing that shit in a song. Like for me, I'll be listening to my favorite music. I'm like,
radio edit,
bro. Because I
read a radio edit.
Because it's like it doesn't like. Let's say like let's take me back to high school. Take me back to 10th grade where I thought I was the shit, and I had a lot of people around me. It's like, yeah, sure, say we don't give a fuck. If you get in the habit of saying that shit, like you're saying. Not everybody is going to respond the same way. Let's say some OG ass dude from Houston comes into town and I'm so used to saying this shit. And let's say this dude really has some pull or really has some feelings about it. And I'm like around my boys. I'm like the only white dude. I'm like, oh yeah, this shit's cool as hell. Blah, blah, blah. And like they made that might really like spark some tension.
But that's where you just have to be careful. If you got your close friends you've been with that know your history, then but everybody else you might want to be careful because everybody ain't like me. I just be like, man, that shit old. Move around with that shit.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna get no reaction out of me.
Yeah. I just decided it's not the best for me.
Yeah.
What used to get me is with people, like I used to run a studio and have people come record and every once in a while you get a white boy and he come in there, say it. I say, hey, because I'm in charge of the shit if you come to my studio. I hit that space bar. I'd hit my little talk back mic. I grab the microphone and say, hey, find a different word.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is that you're going to put that song out and you're going to tell people that I recorded it. And it's going to look like I was like, yeah,
cheering it on.
Go ahead. Say whatever the fuck you want. I said, no, fam, say something else.
I guess everybody kind of should know, like, you know if you get a pass and who you get a pass around.
Exactly, but like if you get a pass locally, that don't mean you need to say that shit for the world.
But I had a dude one time, he said something. He called white dude something. But the white dude didn't say nothing. And I was like, you just going to let him say that to you?
Oh, like said about a white guy?
Yeah.
White guys don't give a fuck.
No, he said something. And he might didn't, but it's the simple fact that he said it. And I was like, you can't do that because if he turn around and he say something back to you, then it's going to be a problem.
Like the word, you know I look at the camera. I'm being very careful here, but I'm just saying, like the word cracker. Like white people do not give a fuck about that shit.
That's totally different. It's like those two words
know what word
are
he
like,
said,
but those words are so much history to it. You know what I'm saying?
I get around white people, like just because white people get so comfortable with other white people. This is just like some insider shit.
I know, my wife's white.
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of white friends.
And dude, they'll get comfortable and they'll just start letting that old N-word slide, brother. And not the A neither. They'll let the real one go.
I've heard stories of chicks that be in grocery stores and they may go to the register and the person may feel like they can say it and then they say it and the person's like, you know, my boyfriend, my husband, black or whatever, you know, and then it's a big ordeal because you felt comfortable saying it to somebody, but so it's probably
I tell them, and like I had a cousin that just loved saying shit.
Yeah.
Right. And like one day I broke down to him, I said, hey, why do you keep saying that shit? You know I don't really like that shit. You know my best friend is Tony. You know Tony. You love Tony. You know my other best friend is Luke. You know Luke. Why are we saying that shit? He was like, oh, this is just white people logic. They say, hey, they're like, oh, it just means ignorant. And I'm like, and that's why I looked him in his eyes. I told him this was like 2 years ago. I looked him in his eyes. I said, if you mean ignorant, say ignorant.
Yeah.
The fuck you got to say a whole different
everything
word?
Black ain't ignorant.
Exactly. Why are you saying one word that has so much like history to it and a different meaning to lots of different people that hear it?
Yeah.
People take it in different ways and shit. If you mean ignorant, there's some white too. Like that might be the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Just if
a lot of people just say that to justify. I've heard that a lot.
Oh, I know you have.
So,
just say ignorant. If you mean ignorant, say ignorant. Don't say the other thing. That's stupid.
Like I say, I'm over it. You know, if you saying it, I think you're just trying to get a reaction out of me. You know.
Yeah. What do you think of? There's a white rapper named Jen Lee. And I'm probably fucking up by giving him more attention, which I don't have that big of a crowd, so fuck him. But that's his whole thing. It's like a big fat white dude with red hair. And like his whole thing is just saying the N-word on songs. Like not the ER, but the A. Yeah. But like in rap songs.
Yeah. I saw something about like where I think they were asking if Mexican dudes get a pass to say it.
They say it for damn sure.
Yeah, because I was at a basketball game and this is back when Keyshawn Johnson had signed with the Cowboys. And I was with some older guys that knew him or whatever. He was cool. And we standing there and some guys was coming down the escalator. And they was like, Keyshawn Johnson, you a bitch ass nigga and this and this. And I'm kind of like, but he was kind of like, they must don't know who the fuck they talking to. He's like, I'm from LA. You know, he was like, they better chill on what they got going on. And I was like, oh shit. Keyshawn Johnson ain't playing no games.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. You got to know, you got to have some situational awareness. That's shit I learned in the Army. You
like
got to know.
I was saying earlier, I'm out of the way on everything.
Out of the way.
Yeah. You can call me what you want. I ain't going to do nothing to you.
What's your goals for your videos going forward?
The streets have been calling, you know, because I think I haven't really been posting and I just got burnt, man. I think I was doing it probably about 10 years. I don't know, 8-10 years. And I just kind of got burnt out. And I really didn't know the ins and out of monetization and all of that stuff. But now I got it. So I think I'm going to come back with a little bit cleaner content because of what I do or whatever. But I don't know. I'm going to get after it. Start posting a little more.
Yeah, posting is a big thing. I've realized that like if I only post 3 times a day and every single one of those posts only get 1,000 views, then that means you're only getting 3,000 views that day.
Yeah.
But if I post 11 times and those all get 1,000 views, now we're looking at 11,000.
Yeah.
And if I do that every single day, then I'm getting more views because the shit from yesterday keeps getting views, right?
I just saw a thing when I was sitting there waiting to come here. I was like, something on Facebook, it was saying you can hit this bonus if you post 3 consecutive videos.
They get
do 4,200 or something. And I was like,
I got the bonus last month.
Okay, I got 1. Now I need to drop 2 more. I bonus last month too.
Yeah.
So I got to try to get back to it. And like I say, it ain't a lot of money, but it's extra
$20
money.
extra for posting?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'll take that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll take $100 extra a month, 200. And if it start getting good, hey, you never know where you'll see old local chief pop up at. Yeah.
What do you think the direction will be for it? Like what kind of videos you think you're gonna zone in on?
I'm gonna jump back on the news.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it after.
Like local news?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
some of my best videos have been local stuff. The dude ramming the Teslas, I went gold on that. 3 or 4 different videos. Through the roof. I'm like,
I don't want to put too much out there, but or should we just share a game on stuff?
Share a game? I don't care. Game. I mean, I share a game, but
for me, like anything that's local, it doesn't even necessarily have to always be local. But if it's something major going on and you pop a video, it's going to probably do good.
Exactly.
Do that. And then like I play characters.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm big like Ronnie.
My mechanic guy, people love that. I've had so many people be like, man, that remind me of my uncle or that remind me of this old guy I know. And I don't know why I really stopped doing it because it wasn't nothing that would jeopardize my job or whatever.
Right.
So I could jump back on that. It's just people just like the cigarette and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to bring him back.
Got to.
Yeah.
It's fun playing a character. I do this guy named Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie's always on some bullshit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but it's fun. Like when I get into Ronnie, I feel like it's actually a part of me, but like I'm just putting this crazy spin on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, as long as I kind of co-sign it as I'm Ronnie right now, you kind of get away with some extra shit that you don't want to like. This isn't Joe Teel speaking. This is Ronnie.
It's like your, what's it called when you got like another personality?
Oh yeah, like a split like personality disorder or something.
Other personality. Yeah.
Like an alter ego. Yeah.
Your alter ego.
Oh shit. Yeah. I enjoy that, dude. I like making videos. Free game for people that are trying to grow their Facebook. Videos get you more followers than anything else.
For sure. Reels
are the biggest.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of following when it comes to my text posts when I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
And photos when I'm having people
get like right
engagement. Now. Yeah, right now I've got people sending me AI videos. Like that's what I've been doing lately. Or AI photos of me. So I'm like, hey, Photoshop me with AI and send it to me.
Yeah.
And so I've been having people doing that. Then I'll post the funniest ones and shit. There's one where I was like fat and I had an alien in the background and that got like 4,000 views today. That was cool.
Yeah.
But if you want more followers on Facebook, videos.
Yeah. You just got to put something out there that people want to see. Like exactly. I was trying to grow YouTube and you watch those videos on how to grow your channel and it's like people want to see somebody that's got like something about them or whatever. You got to show your personality and stuff like that. And that's what makes people follow you.
What do you think it is about your personality that draws people in?
Like you say, people just want to laugh.
They just want to laugh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what the KSLE stands for, is just keep somebody laughing every day.
Oh, is that what that stands for? Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because there's the KSLA, which is the actual news, right?
And they probably hate me.
Oh, I'm sure. But KSLE means keep somebody laughing every day.
Yeah.
Hang on, that's crazy.
Man, it's just a different
cool.
feeling.
Yeah.
Like for me, it ain't never been about money, but if I can make some extra money, that's cool. Because people would be like, will you come out and do a video? We'll pay you. And I never really taxed anybody to nothing crazy or whatever. But it's just doing the holiday gift cards and just people being appreciative for that. And then just seeing people out in public and they just, man, you just don't know what I was going through. And
yeah, you made me laugh.
Yeah, man, that's the biggest payout right there.
Yeah, I love being in public because like people are starting to recognize me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're the dude that does dumb shit.
That's the biggest payout. Me, I'm like,
dude, people see me in public, they're like, Ronnie, and I'm like,
oh, bro, I get it all the time. And my wife be like, who is that? I'm like,
no idea.
I think they follow me on Facebook.
Yeah,
So,
It's cool. I think there's like a responsibility there, but like at the same time, it's like, I just want to make people laugh.
But I want people to know there's some substance there too, though.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
I like being silly, but I got a serious side. It don't come out all the time, but
Let's tap in. This podcast is brought to you by Teel Septic Service. Look, what you do on the toilet is your business. And I would never want to intervene, right? But once you flush it and it goes to wherever it goes after that, and you start having problems, it then becomes my business, right? Call us today for all your septic needs. Septic installation, septic cleaning, septic maintenance. We do it all. It's so easy. Look, you shit it, we get it. Come on, Teel Septic Service. Now back to the show. To your serious side, let's see that. What do you care?
I'm gonna take the glasses off for this.
Okay, yeah, we can take our glasses off. Let's get.
Dang, I didn't even know the lights were on in here.
Oh yeah, hey, the glasses were doing wonders, weren't they? So, the more serious side of you, outside of like your family and stuff like that, what are the things that get you most fired up in life?
Crime. Just to see just crime, senseless crime,
exactly.
And then just kids, want to see kids be led better because there's a lot of kids nowadays. You'll have parents that, and all of them aren't the same, but you'll have kids that go to school all day, come home, and parents never ask them about school, grades, what you do at school.
Right.
They just kind of drifting along, but they're getting lost. You're getting left behind because you're going to graduate and you're not going to have, me in school, I probably had one of the most diverse group of friends. I don't care if you were poor, middle class, wealthy, black, white, Mexican, anything. I can be out and just see people and my wife be like, how do you know them? I'm like, I went to school with them.
Yeah.
That was one of my good friends in school. You know what I'm saying? So you got to build relationships because people you go to school with are people going to be hiring on the jobs locally in the future, are going to be tied in the community. And then you graduate in school with basically no education, no abilities to talk to different people of different races, and that it's killing the country right now.
I appreciate Liberty Island for that big time.
Yeah.
I was like the only white kid in some classes sometimes, and I appreciated that. It's like, some people
make you more comfortable.
Yeah, because I
don't care.
It is one of those uncomfortable moments that I do really like to see, and I'm embarrassed to say this, is when white people that aren't used to black people get introduced to black people. I think it's the funniest shit in the world because it's just like they almost panic. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you go to school with people and you don't even interact?
Exactly.
Like just get to know people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I can find something in common with anybody.
Exactly. And that's the main thing I do with all these. This has been the big secret to podcasting is to immediately find common ground with everybody you interview.
Yeah.
As soon as you find common ground with people, it's like, oh, we're both humans. Like we're both like this or we both like that.
Yeah.
And so like the faster I can kind of read somebody and figure out kind of where they're at, I can be like, oh yeah. And
that's what I was going to text you. I was going to be like, you're going to meet me, but you're going to feel like you already know me.
Yeah.
That's just how I try to, anybody I meet, if I hang out with you for a few minutes, you're going to feel like you already been knowing me.
Yeah. That's a skill.
Yeah.
That's a skill that social people have to learn. Like if you're going to be social and you're going to be successful at being social, like reading a room, because I've met like socially awkward people, that's the flaw. They can't read the other person. They don't understand. It's like, they'll say some crazy shit in front of somebody. And it's like, damn, you didn't catch the vibe there that you wasn't supposed to say that. And that, I think that's one of the main keys that leave you socially awkward. When you were in school, did you ever have any social awkwardness? I did, but I like worked out of it. But it was just all natural.
Yeah, I've always been like a people person.
Yeah.
As a kid coming through school, I've just talked to all kids.
You were from here?
Yeah. I moved here when I was like 3 years old or whatever.
Where'd you come from?
My parents maybe were from Arkansas, but we lived in California for like my first 3 years or whatever. And then we moved here in like 80. And I stayed here all the way up to like 2012.
And what school did you go to?
I was TISD.
Okay.
All the schools in TISD.
All my latest guests have been from Texas.
And that's why I say like, people try to say, and it is hard. I don't want to downplay it, but I come from Rose Hill West 13th, live right next door. The house still right there, right next to Rose Hill Baptist Church, you know. And if I can, and I had both parents, so that may be part of it.
Right.
You know, and my dad ran the streets, sold a little weed here and there, but my mom was in church or whatever, so she kept us grounded. He kept us out of trouble, you know, so, you know, made sure we went to school, you know, and I'm not saying my parents were sit down at the table, do the homework with you, check the homework, but they was going to be on them progress reports and them report cards and making sure you're doing your work.
You ever had one?
I just feel like what?
You ever had a progress report?
What? Had that pencil trying to change that grade?
I swear to God.
What? But I didn't apply myself more, you know.
Like I was. Yeah.
I wasn't just failing classes. If I failed, it was, you know, like I had a typing class. I had to drop it because I thought it was going to teach me how to type. And it wasn't teaching me how to type, but I played football. I was like, I got to get out of here if I'm going to be in football after the 6 weeks.
To me, like I failed 9th and 10th grade. Like I graduated with the people I was supposed to graduate with, but in 11th grade, I did 9th and 10th grade, and 12th grade, I did 11th and 12th grade. After I finally got my shit together.
Man, nah, hold on now. Ellie, y'all doing it like that over there?
Yeah. I had no extra electives. I couldn't even be in athletics because I ran out of shit. And I was a ball. Like I played basketball. I did all this stuff.
Man,
I got kicked out of athletics in 10th grade. I spent 120 days in DAEP at Liberty Isle for drugs. I got caught with drugs at school.
Yeah.
I actually took something I shouldn't have took and passed out. Hit my head on a locker and just crashed out. And then the nurse was asking me questions as I was like in and out of consciousness, and I snitched on myself.
Yeah. I had a buddy in school, 9th grade, and this is back in the day. So 9th grade, I think we might have had pre-algebra back then. You know, you've been in 7th grade now, 6th grade with algebra.
Yeah, they start algebra early.
So he had a teacher's edition book. So he had all the answers. And this sucker here was still flunking. Shout out to my boy Frank Davis.
Not the name drop for having that answers and still failing.
Frank Davis, you ain't got that. They ain't gonna come back for your diploma.
That's funny.
You was still flunking with the teacher's edition.
What do you think about the diploma? What does that mean for people nowadays? Do you think it means less than it used to mean?
I don't think it means less because there's some kids that are still earning that diploma.
Right.
You know, like every year you'll see kids that graduate dual credit.
Right.
You know, top 10s. You don't necessarily have to graduate top 10. What I would like to see, though, is high schools start to become more trade school for a lot of kids.
A big thing now, yeah.
And, you know, schools, you know, try to put more into it or whatever, but something's got to give, man.
What do you think about, and this is, we're going to go to left field, but that's where I live at. What do you think about AI and what that's going to do to like the workforce?
Man, I think it's just like rich man trying to find ways to, you know, make money, you know, be more efficient, less overhead and more income. I guess that's how you say it.
Right. That makes a ton of sense. But what do you think that does to the common person?
Hey, you just got to get on page. You know where it's headed. So in school, you need to start, all kids have Chromebooks and stuff. So you learning basic computer stuff. You just have to get more involved.
I think that in high school right now, there should be an AI class, and it should be something that you have to get credits for in order to graduate.
Yeah.
That's my take on it because
I don't know because everybody's not inclined to be able to learn stuff like that. You know, like me, I'm not.
So like, where do you, I don't want to interrupt you, but where do you think the world is in 5 years when it comes to AI? Like, don't you think, like, as far as what I see, the trajectory of it seems to be like, it's going to get wild. Like, it's going to be able to do so many things that. Yeah,
but you can never replace a working man.
Right.
I don't care how much AI you got. People still going to need plumbing, other stuff like that.
What about when they put when they put AI into a robotic body?
They still won't be like a person, though. It'll
you don't
still
think
be
so?
something.
Yeah, like Elon spent all this money on like.
Because I'm like this. If it ever come to me losing my job to a robot, I'm going to dash that son of a bitch with a bucket of water. He going to be, out for a few days.
I mean, that sounds funny, but like.
He's going to be out for a few days.
If he's good enough, if that robot's good enough to take your job, he's probably waterproof by then.
He going to be wet.
He going to be waterproof by then.
Something going to happen. They make shears and 10 snips.
Let me ask you a wild left field question now that we're getting to this point where I just start asking wild questions. Let's say we get to a world where robots and AI do most of the work. What do you think happens to people if they don't have to work?
I don't know. More like... do
you think it's good, or do you think people will lose their self without, like, do you think people work?
Yeah, it's just people will start going into other stuff. Like, I think it'll just get crazy because free time.
Yeah.
Idle minds, they just start coming up with more ways to scam and do other stuff like that. You know?
What do you think about the scamming culture? I'm not at this point. I'm just asking questions at this point.
It's
now
just we're off the script. Freaking headache, bro.
Exactly.
Like now, I'm big on credit. All my credit's locked. You know, you can get my social security number, you can't buy shit.
Exactly. You got like a life lock or some type of...
No, it's just program. You can go to each branch.
Yeah.
Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, and just lock your credit. So
make sure people don't do stuff without you knowing. Yeah.
That's why I was never really monetized, because I didn't want to put my social security number in Meta or whatever on Facebook.
Right.
For the tax stuff.
Did you see that 16 billion people across a couple of different platforms, whether streaming services and a couple social media sites, their passwords got shared without their knowledge?
I think I did, yeah.
16 billion.
But see, that's just the way it is, man. Like, I don't care about... I ain't got a lot of money anyway, so you hack my shit, they probably gonna be like, let's go to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you'll get me for my little money.
Like kicking a door in and there's not even a TV there.
Oh,
like,
shit, we wasted all this time hacking his shit. And that's all he got.
I kicked this door and they don't even have a TV.
Yeah.
It's like an old square TV.
Yeah, this motherfucker here, man, we wasted our time. Go to the next account.
Wasted a whole kick, yeah.
We're going to let him make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't looking for what I got. They want the big money.
That's like the person on the corner asking you for $10 and you're like, damn, I was just about to ask you. And that's what I started doing on social media. I know this is terrible, but like, you have those people that hit you up out of nowhere. They're like, hey, you're like, I'm on hard times in my family.
Me too.
And they need $20. And I was like, when I started replying, like, this is exactly how I reply. I say, dude, that's so crazy. I was just about to message you, even though we haven't talked in 10 years, and asked you for $20.
It depends on who it is. Exactly. If it's somebody I even halfway know, like, man, I ain't got that shit. I ain't got it. Depends on what you're asking for, too.
Exactly.
You know?
There was a dude at the New Ways over where my old studio used to be at, and every night he would ask me for money for milk for his kids, and I did 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, how much milk they drink?
Exactly.
I'd be like, and then
the fourth night, I think he had been drinking or something. He didn't recognize me. And he walked up to me and I was like, you need some more milk for your kids? He's like, how did you know that? I said, this is the 4th night in a row. He was like, oh, and I saw like the panic in his face. And he was like, oh, yeah. Well, I have 4 kids, blah, 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 blah. I said, get the fuck out of here, dude. I can't support your lifestyle. You finna go buy a damn case of beer with this shit.
He was finna ask that 4th kid need his milk on his day.
I swear, there was a guy, I tried to, I came up to a stoplight and he came, and I ain't gonna lie, this was bold of him, so I almost respected it. He knocked on my window. You know how people with the signs, they most of the time they know, don't do that. I said, whatever, roll down my window. He said, man, I'm so hungry. I just need some food. Can you give me a couple of dollars? I had a gun on me and I'm very proficient at what I do. And I said, hey, if you want some food, get in the car. I'll take you to get food. Yeah. We'll go get a burger right now.
I don't mind helping people sometimes.
Yeah. And I said, get in the car. Let's get a burger.
Now, those ones you see all the time.
Exactly.
If I give you something, don't think I'm finna do it every day.
Exactly. I get in. He wants to get in. I'm like, come get in the car. I'll get in. He was like, but you don't have an extra couple dollars? I said, I'm going to go get you this burger.
Yeah, you can get some food.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the food that you're asking for. He's like, but you don't have any extra dollars. I said, all right. I just rolled my window back up. I said, no, bro, you don't want food.
You ain't hungry.
You're not hungry enough. Because if you thought I was genuinely finna give you a burger, you'd have got your ass in the car.
People always be like, man, why you get them people money? I'm like, look, I give them the money. It's not for me to control what they do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I give them the 20, that means I got it. You know?
I do you feel conflicted about giving to people sometimes when you feel like they might misuse it?
I don't worry about it. That's not for me to worry about. If I can be his out for the day where he want to get high and get blasted, that's on him. I did my part.
Exactly.
I feel like my part is to give, not to monitor what he did with the money.
Yeah.
You know what
Do
I'm
you
saying?
think that comes from like your background? You said you were raised up in kind of like a religious background.
No, I just think it's just caring for people,
right
man.
thing to do?
Yeah, just looking out for people.
Before we started, and you mind talking about it? What we talking about
Go
earlier?
ahead. I'll tell you, I'm open book.
You told me that you were born. Were you born into it?
Pretty much,
Like
yeah.
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I mean, it was good to me. You know, like you see all this stuff on TV nowadays, but it was pretty much normal for me. Like people be saying they saw this and saw this. I never saw nothing out of the ordinary, but I was a kid, you know. I think the last time I went, I might have been like 16, 17.
Right. So everybody you met seemed like they were just on like a legit mission.
Yeah.
Trying to convert people, trying to, And so you knocked on doors.
Yeah.
What was that like? What's that like to knock on some strangers' door? They don't really want you to be there though, right?
They're kind of shy. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it wrong because I can't really remember, but it's like you get in your hours to become a higher level in the church or something like that. I can't remember exactly why you do the thing. It's not.
Is there like a quota on doors?
No. You just go out for a few hours and like try to spread the word, pass out the pamphlets and stuff like that. You know, some people, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Might show up at your door. Some people will be like, oh, I'm not interested. Some people will listen. You know, it's just.
So I'm curious, could you, and if not, that's fine. Could you tell me like, what do they believe different than like, let's say your average, like regular Protestant Christian?
What I can't go too much into it, but
that's fine.
I believe that it's like 144,000 anointed people or whatever.
So that means that like before time began, there was 144,000 people that God had
not
picked
before time begins. It's still some today that's around.
Okay.
You know, they're considered anointed. And y'all forgive me because I'm 50 and this is when I was 16.
Right.
But you know, it's still some around. They'll come around, you know, every now and then that are anointed or whatever. And those are the people that are, I want to say, for sure going to heaven.
So is
then everybody else is working towards going to paradise.
Right. So is paradise heaven? Like are those two
paradise on
things?
earth?
Paradise on earth. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody that's a Jehovah's Witness, are they thinking that they particularly are a part of the 144,000?
No.
Okay, so they
know that they are.
And how do they know?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just curious. Like, I'm curious.
Even being a kid, like it was an anointed person, and then you just find yourself sitting there watching them the whole time, like trying to figure out, like,
right,
you know, how is this person anointed compared to this? You know what I'm saying? And
when you say anointed, you think, and you're saying they take that as somebody that's actually going to go to heaven.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember.
Exactly.
So I may misspeak, but that's what I'm thinking.
That's fine.
But it's really just about doing right, getting baptized, and gaining your place in paradise.
And do they use the regular Bible that you have, or is there more books, or is it the exact same thing?
You have books that you do like on Tuesday night book study, Thursday night book study, Sunday people come and give sermons.
The main book is the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And what are they and you think they're interpreting it different?
No, I think it's pretty much interpreted the same. It's just a real low key. Like, not a lot of sermons are different. You know, it's not the high pitched and the normal church.
Where do you know where that 144,000 number comes from? Is that something that's in the Bible?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember
because
I don't want to misspeak. I probably already have misspoken. You know,
and that's fine. We're not going to hold you to it. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I'll look into it more.
I think people would be surprised if they went. You know, if you're unsure about something, go see what it's like.
Check it out. Yeah,
you know, because I
would say that, but I'm also really wary because I did a whole series on Scientology, and that was crazy.
Yeah. It's nothing like that.
It's nothing like Scientology.
No,
you say, huh?
I wouldn't think so.
Scientology is a dangerous cult.
Yeah, see, I don't. I see people say that that's like a cult. I never got like a cult vibe, but at the same time, I was a kid. But like I said, we would go out of town and stuff, and it was just like big family oriented
right.
Thing for us,
Yeah.
And I had 3 more brothers and a younger sister,
right.
And they were older. They're older than me.
And that's the thing about cults. Is some people think that cults are just dangerous. Like you can
leave.
Yeah, you can be happy. There could be a peaceful, like something that may actually fit the
they'll put you out. They'll put you out.
What does it take to put you out?
I don't know if they put you out, but they do it where they don't really. Yeah, y'all forgive me. It's kind of like you get labeled as something.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like they kind of like shun you or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like,
but you have to be done did something crazy though. Yeah.
Like in Scientology, they call you a what do they call you? They call you a suppressive person.
Yeah.
And in like the FLDS, which is a branch of Mormonism that still practices polygamy, which is crazy. If you ever get a chance to look into the FLDS, it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It's like this city that's in between Colorado and Arizona. Wait, I believe so. Yeah. And anyways, their leader still believes in polygamy. And their leader, he's in prison now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But he had 86 wives.
Yeah.
He had 86 kids. Yeah. Right? And he was even
so
running shit
why he was preaching it.
That's the thing about cults. Like some of these cults.
Religious pimping.
Yeah, for sure.
He was on
100%. A lot of these cults are like, yeah, no duh. Like the leader decided one day that God told him that all the ladies should sleep with him. It's like.
And see, I was about to say, I don't have no problem with no religion, but when it's like something like that.
Yeah, you got to think of like the Manson, Charles Manson.
Yeah.
He had convinced everybody.
That's more cult, but like religious stuff, I don't knock anybody's religion.
Exactly.
The way I live is, I'm not in the church anymore or whatever, but I try to live a good life.
Right.
And, I told a guy that one day and he was like, he just went off on me about some stuff. And he was like, that's not how it works. I was like, that's fine. But I'm just trying to live a good life, raise good kids.
Right.
If you Muslim or Christian or whatever, I don't have a problem with it. Believe what you believe as long as you serving somebody,
Yeah, I think the big problem about living your life and just serving yourself, I think that's where...
I'm not serving myself. I just told you I get it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like when
$20.
When people get... That's what I'm saying. When people get to a point where they start serving themselves, I think that's where we get to where we are in the world, where a lot of people are just serving themselves. And when it comes down to it, it's like if your decisions are like instinct and survival, like this is going to be a dirty, cutthroat world because that means you're willing to do whatever to keep getting by. And I think that's where religion plays a big part, where some people get involved in the religions and they're like, well, there's this other set of rules that say I should be selfless.
And that's like the Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't do tithes.
Really?
No, you just, when I was there, you gave donations. It was whatever you could give. They never was like, I need the congregation to give me $10,000 or nothing like that. It's just I don't even know if they passed a basket around. They just had little boxes set up along the wall. They might have passed a donation plate, but can't remember. But mostly I remember the boxes, little round things that set up, and you just put money in there as you it was never like a money thing.
Tithing is interesting because I feel like I've seen this in my own life.
That. Huh? I got a story about that.
Oh, yeah. I feel like in my own life, when I have been more willing to let go of my money to help people, it does seem like there is some like cosmic thing happening where it does tend to help me in the long run.
Yeah.
But also...
Tithing helps you in the long run? Is that what you said?
Well, I mean, not just necessarily tithing, but helping people.
Oh.
So it's like I would say even like tipping at a restaurant to me is a form of tithing because it's like, this is money I'm willing to let go of, to put it out there. It's going to help somebody in the same way that tithing would do. So like, let's say I'm at a restaurant. Could I tip 10%? Could I tip 20%? Could I tip 25%? I feel like in a way it's similar if I tip 25% because I'm like, I'm letting go of this money. I don't necessarily have to do it. I could put 0 on the receipt and nothing would happen. The waitress or waiter would be upset with me, but like there isn't no actual consequence to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do feel like, and I have seen in my life when I let money go, it does seem
come back
to me, right? So like maybe that
for
this
me,
is philosophy.
I don't know. I don't think for me, like I've been trying to be a good person, not really trying, but I feel like I've been a good person. And like they'd be like, that's gonna come back tenfold. Boy, like I say, if it was to ever come back, oh my God.
Be set like Jed.
Oh man. But a story about tithing.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So I won't say no names, but people that know me know who my friends are. And I guess making about $300,000 or whatever.
300. Wait. You said 300,000.
Yeah. And so this is early on. He's making about $300,000, and his mom was like, "You need to tithe at the church." He was like, "No, I ain't giving them my money." She was like, $300,000, 10% of that, that's $30,000. He was like, "Hell, you give him your car."
It does get wild.
You can give him your car if you want to.
It does get a little wild. Like the higher that number gets, that 10% is crazy.
Yeah. I had buddies, they went to a thing. I'm not going to say like what church it was or whatever, but they said that it was good, the overall thing, but they said as soon as they got there, it was like a big thing. Like nothing was even said. Like the first thing was, I heard somebody in the congregation was going to be $10,000. And they said they just kind of looked and said somebody walked up to the front and put $10,000 up there. And they was like, I heard somebody was going to bless me $5,000. Somebody came and they just said they just had people bringing money. And they was like, that was the only bad part about going to that whole.
Yeah, let's talk about that. But let me can I go to the restroom real fast?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You good? One thing that gets me is mega churches, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that, like, I get where it's like, okay, if you have this giant church, we could reach more people. That feels okay, right?
Yeah.
But the churches and where like the pastors are getting
mega money.
That's crazy to me. Because if you think about like who Jesus was, like really look at like the Bible and Jesus, like for the 3 years of his ministry, Jesus was 30 to 33. He traveled around. You know, you got to think of how many nights did Jesus lay his head down with no place?
Yeah.
This dude he was basically homeless. He was just going town to town telling everybody to love each other.
Yeah.
Right. So like, where do you get like the connection if you have a private jet and a mansion and a church with 600,000 people in it that give you thousands of dollars every single Sunday? Where is the connection? Like, how do you feel connected to the hippie? Basically, I mean, in a lot of ways we would describe, if we saw Jesus today, he would be like a hippie.
Yeah.
We're like, so how would they connect to that?
You trying to get me fast tracked to hell talking about these churches. No, the way I look at it.
No, you can talk about churches.
No, I just look at it like some of it is a bit outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you built up your congregation, but I feel like at the same time, I mean, I can't speak because maybe they do help a lot of people. I don't know, but
yeah,
you might need a jet to travel to different, but I feel like you could fly a regular flight.
I say, oh, they love you. They love you because you're like, oh yeah, he gets it.
I'm saying like, you know, they put in the time and work to build up their churches, but some of the stuff like some pastors, they start wearing the little shirts and the tight pants and all that old stuff. And
well, Jesus clearly speaks about how tough it is to get to the next part of life, like after this life, if you have money. It's easier for a needle to enter the eye of a camel for a rich man to enter heaven. He's basically saying like the more money you have, the more difficult it is because you'll love that stuff more than what he was teaching about.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. You know, like when that storm hit down there in Houston and they didn't let people come stay in the mega church.
Joe Osteen. Let's give him a shout out.
Mattress Mac,
Joe Osteen.
Mattress Mac, the furniture owner, let people sleep in all his furniture.
You know why Joe Osteen said they couldn't sleep? He didn't want to let him in? He had just got the carpet redone.
Ouch.
And Jesus was like, hey, don't let them people in because you just got this new carpet.
But you preaching the teachings, you know, to help people and stuff like that, but you're not helping people.
That was crazy. That was the big one. Then, and it's surprising that he still has like millions of followers.
And that may be the disconnect for me with some churches. I'm not going to say all churches,
right?
But I don't care to go. If I was into a religious, going to church or whatever like that, I wouldn't want to go to a big mega church.
Exactly.
Small town churches like here,
yeah,
I could.
If you look into I'm not trying to get
so reach out to Joe if you want him to go to church.
If you want me to go to church,
yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be. I would let's say if somebody was convinced me to go to church, knowing what I know, it like the smaller the better.
Yeah.
If you think about like the New Testament, where most of the writing of the New Testament, like over half of the New Testament was wrote by a guy named Paul, who was originally Saul. He saw the light. God blinded him. Said, "Hey," because Saul was a Jew and he was killing Christians at the time. He sees the light. God blinds him. Basically says, "Hey, you don't need to persecute them no more." He has like this whole life-changing event. He turns around and becomes a Christian and writes over half of the New Testament. And his writings are more like, hey, we need to believe in Jesus instead of there's that. You see what I'm saying? So
I say, you preaching to me right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
just don't ask me for no offering before I leave.
No, I won't do that because I'm not going to church myself. That's the thing. I went to church for Easter. My wife, I ain't gonna say she dragged me, but she had me there. And I looked around the room and I was listening to the preacher preach and I was like, okay, I'm with it. And to his credit, I knew he knew what he was talking about. And that's good. I know the Bible really, really well. And like, I'm not going to disclose like where I'm at with it. It's really complicated. I'm actually super confused, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I do get really confused on how people can look at the world and everything going on, and then they can look at one book and they can be like, hey, I understand everything. And it's like, how did you get from this one book from 2,000 years ago? Like, if you really get into that, I'm not discouraging people to get into that, but I'm just saying, how do you take that and look at what we've got going on now and say, I know 100%, I know what is going on right now?
You know what's a really awkward feeling about church?
What's that?
I've been to some different churches,
Right.
Not a lot, a couple here and there, but especially like sometimes you go to a black church and the preacher will be preaching. If he's preaching something and he seems like he's talking directly to you, and you kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
You ever had that before?
Oh, no.
Man, now that's a bad feeling right there, boy.
Yeah, but if you think about that, it's like there's a legitimate reason that could be behind.
Oh.
It's just a blanket statement can hit a whole bunch. If you give me a crowd of people,
and
I start really thinking about what I can say to relate to them, I could relate to a crowd of 1,000 people easy.
Yeah.
And let's say we get 900 of the 1,000 people there, and 100 people are like, "Oh, I'm just here." But 900 people are like, "Dang, he's talking about somebody." I mean, it's easy. You could just talk about troubles.
Oh, something's gonna reach somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and like I said, I'm coming off bad. We're in the Bible Belt. I'm coming off bad. But it wouldn't be that hard to recreate these scenarios that happen in a lot of churches where it's like the music is right. Everybody's feeling a type of way. Everybody's kind of vulnerable.
And see, me, it's weird because I'm always nervous going to different, because I didn't grow up in, I ain't going to say regular churches, but outside of Kingdom Hall.
Right.
Which is Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't grow up. So anytime I go to any other type church for anything, it's kind of like,
yeah, you got to kind of feel it out. Yeah. Yeah, I think that
not in a bad way. I'll say that.
Right. I think a lot of churches are playing on people's feelings though.
Yeah.
And so it does make it hard to determine like whether you actually felt something supernatural or you played into the lights and the music.
Yeah.
Especially with the new age churches where people are playing into the lights and the music.
That's what they're doing.
It feels like a concert. Yeah. I've been to churches where I'm like, oh my God, like I feel something, but it's like, did we feel something or was the music right? Because like I can go watch an emotional movie and feel the same way. It's like, oh damn, like they really played on me. The movie played on me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not discouraging Christianity.
You know what the worst feeling in my life was one time, bro?
What's that?
Watching Passion of the Christ.
That's rough. That's a rough one.
But the thing is, I probably shouldn't say this, my wife's going to kick my ass. I just got through fucking this chick I was fucking with. And then I'm sitting there and that Passion of the Christ came on TV and I was like, oh man, I need to change my life. I need to change my fucking life. That made me feel so bad. Watch it. Have you ever watched that movie?
I've watched it.
Oh my God.
I watched it when I really believed. Like I was like head over heels. Like I'd have fought somebody.
Man, I told my daughter, I was like, have y'all ever seen that? I was like, man, y'all need to watch that. That movie will make you reevaluate your whole life.
And that's like most people agree that Jesus was crucified. Like most, even historical people believe Jesus was a real person and that Jesus was crucified. The thing is like, did he resurrect? I mean, that is the basis of all of Christianity.
Yeah.
It all depends on the third day, did he actually get up? Yeah. Like the more you look into like the Christian religion, it's like, did he get up? And so like, that's something where I'm not entirely sure about. And maybe that's a fault of me.
I'm not either. That's my thing. I don't know what to believe, you know?
And with all the sources and all the stuff and all the people that say different things, like we live in the internet age where it's like, just think about this. Like if you were in the 1600s right now and somebody told some shit.
No, I don't want to.
But if somebody convinced you of something in the 1600s, how would you combat what they just told you? You couldn't, really. You could just be like, either you think that's true or you don't.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of like, now go Google what somebody tells you, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get both sides. You're going to get 150 sites.
But that's what baffles me about like outer space and archaeology. Like I saw something the other day and somebody was like, this creature was from 12 million years. So just something I'm like, how the fuck can you narrow that down to, 3 million years ago? I'm like, what the fuck?
It's interesting. Like, do they really know this shit or are they just telling us?
Yeah, like how far do you think we really go back?
I went to a museum this weekend. I was in Galveston. We went to we was in Galveston. We got in the car and we drove to Houston to the Natural Science Museum there. And it's a humongous, it's like 4 stories. We went through all the different stories. We saw mummies. They have a dinosaur bones exhibit where they have like legit dinosaurs and shit.
Yeah.
At least that they say, And in there the whole time I'm thinking exactly what you're thinking. I'm like, did they cook this shit up or like is this legit?
I don't know. I was looking at Julius Caesar the other day and like his birth date and his death, and it was like 44 BC and something. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's 2,070 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what to believe.
I think that's...
You just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, and I don't want to be... Because a lot of people, because there's a word for it. It's called agnostic. And agnostic basically means that you've thought about the shit a bunch, but you're not really coming to a conclusion where you say, this is what I believe. You know what I mean?
And that's the way I feel about religion.
Yeah. That means you're agnostic.
Are all religions legit? Or is it one religion that is the truth? You know what I'm saying? I just don't know what to believe.
So when people tell me, they say, hey, I think I know you've heard this before, maybe all religions are right and they all kind of lead to the same place.
Yeah.
But
I would be more inclined to lean towards that than somebody to say, oh, well, this is wrong. This religion's wrong. This religion's right. How do you know?
But you have something like Christianity that says, hey, this is the only way. There's literally a verse in the Bible that says, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Nobody gets to the Father except through me. Right? So like if you're a Christian, you can't believe that all paths lead to the same deal.
So you're going to have me on here looking like...
You know what I mean? But no, not to like try, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that is the verses. It says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through me. So that's basically saying that you can't be a Hindu and get to Jesus.
Yeah.
You can't be a this and get to Jesus. You can't be an Islamist and get to Jesus. So what I'm saying, all I'm saying is that this particular religion and other religions are like this are saying it's exclusive. So you could say all religions lead to God, but then you have these other religions that say they can't lead to God. Only one can. So it's like, do all of them lead there, or are they just one?
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Goes back to me saying, just believe what you believe.
Exactly. I just feel like I'm not smart enough to figure that out. And then, but that leads to different questions. If I'm getting too crazy, just let me know.
No, you good.
But I just follow my train of thought and say like a religion based on me getting to a spot that makes logical sense. That's a little crazy when it seems like logically, it's like if you looked at everything, it's like if you looked into politics, the more you know, the less you know, almost. Because it's like, damn. Because it's almost like all these different, it's almost like the overload of information, right?
Sure.
So like you look into it, you're like, I'm going to get into the Republican Party. You look into it, you're like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look into the Democratic Party, like, ooh,
yeah,
that's not good. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, we'll look into Christianity. And then you look into it and you're like, oh, dang, ooh.
Yeah.
There's parts of that that's like, that's not good. There's thousands of years where people just murdered each other and entire civilizations and I'm not anti-Christian. Don't take that from me. I'm just saying I don't know. And so it's like how I got there.
That's my biggest thing is like, I just don't know.
Yeah. And all I'm saying is I tend to feel like it seems like indecisive to kind of come up to the point where you say, I don't know what's going on. And some people get mad at you, like the people that like the atheists. They'll be like, what do you mean you don't know? And then like the extra religious, they'll be like, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you're just a regular dude with an overload of information. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I don't know shit.
Yeah. And they'll probably be like, you don't know because you don't go to church.
Or you don't know because you don't go to church. It's like, it could be either way. Like, I've heard really convincing arguments on either side. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? But what if eternity is based off me hearing all this information and making the right decision?
I don't know. Like, here's my thing too. Like, the baptism, right? You can have lived the worst life ever. Mm-hmm. Then you get baptized and it washes all that away.
I know where you're going.
I'm just saying.
Does that work for everybody? Does that work for Hitler? Does that work for...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's just, to me...
Have you been baptized?
I've been baptized. I've been baptized more than once. I've been baptized twice.
I haven't.
And still to this day, very confused.
Because I think when you grow up Jehovah's Witness, you have to work towards baptism. And I think going in the door to door is part of it.
So you have to earn baptism.
To work towards it, yeah.
That's great. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
You can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to start going to church and then go to church and then I'm going to get baptized. Work from what I remember.
Yeah. Do you think we have, and like I said, anytime I get past the hour, I just start talking crazy.
Yeah.
And then I just start going. So you just let me know if I'm going too far.
You're good.
You think we have free will?
What do you mean by free will?
Like, do you think we're in control of things? Do you think you have the choice to do whatever you feel like at that moment?
To a degree.
What do you mean by that?
You can do whatever you want to do, but it's consequences, it's laws, you know.
Right, but like you still have that choice though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So here's one thing I think about when they talk about God being like omniscient, you know what I'm saying? Like everywhere at every moment. And also like they say, God is in control of everything and making all the pieces move. Do you feel like, and I know this is so crazy.
See, I was about to get off of me looking at something from a funny view. You know?
Can we be, and this is just a part of my show, and I apologize to my listeners why I'm like this, I'm just crazy. Can we be free if he's control of everything? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I mean, you are, but like I say, the consequences. Yes.
But like they say, to pray to change the outcome of things, you can't.
And see, that's what I was just about to say when you saw me just smile. I was like, some people are big on prayer.
Right.
You know, I didn't grow up that way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like, that's not what they teach Jehovah's Witnesses. But sometimes that people say God does everything. You know, like everything that happened. Oh, God did that. Oh, God did that.
Exactly.
You know, I didn't know how I was going to pay my light bill.
But God did it.
God did it.
Right.
You know, I don't. Sometimes I think shit just happens in your favor.
Right.
You know.
So you think there's like an element of chance to it?
Yeah. Like, you just got lucky and your goddamn bill got, shit. You just got lucky and your bill got paid that month. I feel like I just feel like God's too busy to answer prayers about you $40 short on your rent.
Yeah.
God got something else to do. He ain't got time to be come over to help you pay your bill. You know what I'm saying?
That would be a funny shirt. God don't got time.
Boy, this podcast is gonna be the death of me.
I swear, I'm so sorry.
This podcast is gonna be the death of me.
You tell me, like, I can even send it to you and tell if you need to cut stuff. But
I don't care what you post.
After an hour, that's my rule. At the hour, we keep it.
I just don't want people looking at me like, oh, he anti-God. He's a non-believer.
Same here, because
I'm not a non-believer. I just don't know what to believe.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% where I'm at. Because I don't believe there's no God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, when I look at the evidence of things, I say like, okay, let's say there was some alphabet soup together, right? And you remember alphabet soup that has the letters?
Yeah.
What if you poured out the alphabet soup and you looked down and it said, help me? That wouldn't happen, right? That would be like the statistics would.
But
the probability would be like crazy.
Yeah.
You would immediately assume that somehow, when you wasn't looking, somebody took those letters.
Yeah.
And assembled them. So it's like when I look at...
But see, me, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's got to be God.
Right.
I'd be like, shit, that's crazy.
That the letters just happened to line up? Okay, that's what... Okay, yeah. Because if I saw that, I would be like, okay, there's some type of...
And you know why I say I struggle with it? Because people always say, oh, well, God's coming back. God's coming back. Right?
Yeah.
Just all the stuff that goes on and has gone on in the world.
Well, people are terrible
starving, the killing, and everything. This has been going on since, I guess, Jesus left. Before and since Jesus.
Way before, since the beginning of time.
So what is it going to take for him to come back?
Yeah.
Because everything is pretty much happening. You know what I'm saying? He'll come back if it's a mass shooting and a bunch of kids get killed. That's happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He'll come back if, whatever happens. What's the final straw for him to come back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know neither.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be like,
Yeah, I'm not, and like I say,
I don't want people burning me up because we're just talking about it.
Yeah, but I think we should be able to talk about this and ask questions like that.
Yeah.
Because I like asking questions.
I got a feeling we're going to be at church Sunday.
We'll be the ones in the crowd.
He's going to get an invite. He needs it. He's watching because he keep beers in his pocket.
Hey, shit. I might have one in my back pocket, dude. I might pull that son of a bitch out.
Fast track to hell.
Man, well, I don't know. I just wonder if I believe that everything is so complicated that it's harder for me to believe that it's random, right? I don't think it's random. I guess my hang up is it this particular book that explains it?
Yeah.
But I'm not, like I said, not anti-God. I'm not anti-religion. None of that stuff.
We have to say that.
And I think that there is morals that have been took from... Let's say that even if I came to the conclusion that the Bible's not real, I think there's morals in there that has helped humanity, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we all should have morals. And if I don't believe in anything, then where am I supposed to draw my morals from? That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to find?
I agree with
right?
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think I would be the person I am today if I hadn't grew up the way I did.
That's interesting.
Going to the right. Kingdom Hall or whatever.
Yeah. So Jehovah's Witness molded you in a way, right? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Who doesn't? I enjoy it. I like this is the type of stuff I talk. Let me ask one more wild question before we get out of here. It's already an hour and 40, but I love this shit. Do you think there's aliens?
Here's my thing about aliens. Everybody's so interested in aliens. We don't take care of the motherfuckers on Earth.
Exactly.
So what we gonna do? Go find the aliens and go to their planet and fuck their planet up? Yo.
We might do it, dude.
Yeah. We're gonna have aliens on food stamps. Aliens dropping out of alien college. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fuck up a whole planet.
The aliens come to visit us.
Yeah.
And we end up corrupting.
We breathe CO2. We done took oxygen to their planet and fucked up all that shit. I don't know. I just don't get caught up in it.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's not something you think about, huh?
Nah. Until I see that motherfucker land and be like, don't kick it with us. Man, it don't concern me. You know what I'm saying?
I love that dude.
Don't
That's
concern
hilarious.
me.
I think that there's so much stuff out there, like if you believe what the scientists say, like what we were talking about earlier, where it's some of that stuff is like, damn, are they just making this shit up? Sometimes I feel like the scientists be pulling shit out of their ass. I don't know. But if the universe is as big as they say it is, and as old as they say it is, it does seem likely that there's other shit out there.
I don't know.
Yeah. And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you believe in aliens? You don't believe in aliens?" And
I'm like Dion say, I'm where my feet are.
I'm where my feet are.
I focus on where I am.
Where can people find you?
What do you mean? I work.
On
at work.
On the internet.
I be at work. The liquor store.
The liquor store. Yeah, same. Me and him just hanging out at the damn Chubby Cheeks.
My page is that KSLE News 33.
Yeah.
I'm just on there cutting up. I got a personal page, but
do you ever post things to your personal page, or is it all the funny
I always
stuff?
share it, so I kind of run it to that page.
I got you.
And that's where I get a lot of views from. It's like my personal page, and then whatever else I pick up off of my main page. I don't know. I just think Facebook's been scamming me, bro, because I've been stuck at like 49,000 followers for so long. It will not go to 50. It will not go to 50. I'm talking about years now.
Yeah.
Years. Guaranteed at least the past 5 years I've been stuck at 49,000 something followers. It'll say, oh, you added 100 and something followers this week. And
have you gone viral outside of the town? Like more than 100,000 views?
What, like nationally? Or
like more than 100,000.
I've had videos do stupid numbers. Well, I ain't gonna say stupid, but like 5 million views.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Because I've went viral like 10 times, but like my highest one is 2 million.
Yeah. I did a video where I'm looting at this Family Dollar. But see, that goes back to doing something that's in the news, but it's not actually what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So the time I did that video was a guy had got killed by the police. Rest his soul. You know, I don't want to be like that. In like Ohio, Baltimore. So I knew it was a bunch of riot and looting going on. So I'm with my buddy and he was like, I was like, man, let's go make a video. And he was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to play like I'm looting. And he was like, oh, I got something to help you. I was like, what? So he goes in the refrigerator and he pulls out that big Stouffer's lasagna or whatever.
That's my favorite.
He's like, and take this toilet tissue. And he was like, something else. So we get a couple things and he lives on the other side of Arkansas. He's Arkansas Boulevard and Jefferson right there. He lives right there. The Family Dollar's right here. So we go there. He's like, what do you want me to do? I said, man, just turn the camera on. Say, hey, KSLE News 33, can I interview you? I said, I'll do the rest. So he does that. And the first thing I say is, man, you got to hurry up. I got to take shit. You know? And so we shoot it or whatever. We get in the car, we watch it. And when I say that line, I was like, I don't even know what made me say that. We just bust out laughing. All right. We drive from that Family Dollar to his house, which is not even a half a mile. I drop him off and I was like, man, that video's got 1,300 views already. And he was like, what? He's like, man, if it gets 13,000 views before 6 o'clock, it's going to go viral. And it's like maybe right at 5 o'clock, maybe just a few minutes after. And I'm like, what does 13,000 views have to do with anything? So I go home, I call him, and it's 6 o'clock, and I check it, and I said, guess how many views that video got? He's like, how many? I was like, it said 16,000 something. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And so then I worked at the prison. So I was asleep. I woke up about 12 to use the bathroom. I was like, let me check my phone. And I looked, and I was like, holy sh! It was like 1.2 million views. Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy. And that right there let me know then, if I do news and I tailor it towards not necessarily local, but something that's going on that's got everybody's attention, and I drop a video on that or something along the lines and I put my little spin on it or whatever, it's got a chance. So all it was that video took off, maybe threw a Baltimore hashtag in there or whatever. And they were sharing it. People here were sharing it, but it was the comments and the engagement, because all the people from Baltimore were like, that motherfucker ain't from Baltimore. His country ass ain't from here. And everybody from here was like, no shit, you stupid son of a bitch or whatever. They were defending me or whatever. And it was just this big back and forth.
Right.
And it was going crazy. And I had one, I don't know if you ever saw it, that foot cocaine video where I'm sitting at a table and my buddy's recording. And I was like, I got a line, right? And he's like, what you got? I was like, man, I got that good shit. And I've got my driver's license making a line, like we finna do a line. And I was like, you want some? He's like, that ain't enough. I was like, man, I got about 1 gram. And he was like, I don't know nothing about drugs. He's like, that ain't enough. I was like, yeah, it is. And I had just got out of the shower. So I scooped back from the table and I put my dry ass heel up on the table and I started scraping some dead skin off.
Oh, no.
And it was dead skin that I had lined up on the table. And everybody died on that. But that video ended up making it on Ridiculousness, the episode with 50 Cent.
Oh,
Like
shit.
season
Yeah,
7,
shot the Rob
episode
Dyrdek.
1.
Oh.
It was on that or whatever. And I was, like I said, I was working for the prison and I was at some training, so I couldn't have my phone all day. When I get off, turn my phone on and it's just bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what's going on? And I had just had a baby not too long before that. So I called my girl and I'm like, my wife, I'm like, hey, what's going on? She was like, did you see it? And I was like, what? I'm scared, you know? And she was like, your video that was on that Ridiculousness. I was like, I ain't seen it. I've been in class or whatever all day. And she was like, it made it on Ridiculousness. And I'm talking about everybody was going crazy. And that video went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably 2 of my biggest videos right there, just on doing something.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Hold on, man. Let me get back right.
Before we do our little outro, get our glasses back on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for
man, I appreciate the invite, man.
We got to do it again, man. This is great.
Yeah.
Me and you, we could talk for 3, 4, 7 hours. It'd be fun.
I told you, I'm going to make it like you knew me.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it, dude.
I appreciate it, brother.
KSLE 33?
Yeah, News 33.
News 33. Go follow him. Joe Teel Podcast. Thank you so much for tapping in. You followed with us the whole time. We love you and we appreciate you. More episodes coming. I will drop an episode every single week, or you can come fight me. And hell, just come fight me. Hell, I don't give a shit. We love it here. It's great.
And we love God.
And we love God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're not anti-God, even though we got crazy there for a little bit.
We're just having a conversation.
Just having a conversation. You should be able to do that.
Exactly.
Should be able to do that. Craig Jenkins, thank you so much,
yes, sir.
dude.
I appreciate the invite, man.
I loved it. Thank you so much, man. Y'all be blessed. We'll be back next week. We'll holler at y'all later.
Like, share, subscribe.
Come on, like, share, subscribe. Do all that cool shit. We'll holler at y'all later.
Peace.